Hail them.
Hailing frequencies open, sir.
Hailing frequencies. Open.
Captain, we're being hailed.
They're hailing us, sir.
On screen.
Hello and welcome to Hailing Frequencies Open, your podcast where we trek through the past and future of Star Trek. As always, I'm your host, Mike Jones, and joining me via the magic of the Zoom call are, I haven't come up with a better way of saying that, Ben Hollywood Whitmore and Aaron Hadley.
Woohoo! What's going on, guys?
We are all met.
Indeed.
Pat, we were just talking about Shakespeare because we're nerds.
Which no one would have gotten based solely on us hosting a Star Trek The Next Generation podcast.
If you haven't caught on yet, friends, I hate to break it to you, but we are all nerds.
You should sit down for this. It's big news.
Everyone, I hate to ruin a good thing.
We have an exciting watch-along today.
Yay!
This is a good
I'm
one.
very excited about this episode.
Legitimately.
Yeah, we're going. If I were a betting man, I would say that we're going to have a great episode. That didn't do well. Okay, so before we jump in, so we're going to be talking about the season 2, episode 12, episode the Royale, not to be confused with the Royale with cheese.
No, which
it's a
would be
different one.
delicious.
Which would be delicious.
In
Maybe
this
I'm hungry.
episode, the Enterprise investigates strange debris in orbit around a nearby planet, only to find a piece of NASA spacecraft emblazoned with the U.S. flag.
How very
read you-
odd.
I just
Dun,
read
dun,
you the Netflix
dun, dun, dun.
teaser. That's the.
Oh, that's hilarious because that's on your screen right now.
It's on my
Mhm.
screen right
You're
now.
watching season 2,
I
episode
feel like
12.
we put so much on Mike to introduce this show, and I was just like, well, you know what? I need to start pulling my own weight. I'm going to read the Netflix
like, I'm
intro.
going to read what's on the screen.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Well, before we jump in, I just want to remind everyone, if you like what you hear and you're enjoying our little bi-weekly podcast, please consider becoming a patron and joining our crew over at Patreon. You'll get special perks, including the video version of this podcast. Here you get to see our beautiful faces. Let's be serious. You'll get to see Aaron Hadley's beautiful face and
And my ugly mug.
right in our ugly mugs.
My God.
So you can find that on our website under Support Us, or you can look for us over on Patreon. Make sure you subscribe and give us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast to help other people find us. 5 stars.
And listen, guys, I'm going to level with you because I'm at that point of the night. Don't waste our time with 4 stars or less. Like, seriously, if you're coming to give us the rating and the review, please
get
make
outta
it 5
here.
stars.
Yeah.
Please.
Back off that mic just a scotch, Miss Aaron.
Sure.
You're
Sorry.
a little-
Bless your heart. That was
was a little
intense, and
It
it was
was a little
delivered
hot.
very well. But I just,
Who's coming in hot?
yeah,
She's,
she was on the warpath.
Aaron
Yep.
did warn us that she's at the point in the pandemic where she has no more fucks to give.
I'm out. I'm fresh out.
Fresh out,
Fresh
y'all.
out. Fresh
Fresh
out.
out. So it's gonna be a little slappy tonight, guys.
I
gonna
love
be
it.
uncut, unedited, unfiltered.
This is
Straight from the tap.
as my husband likes to say, Aaron with no fucks left to give is his favorite version of Aaron.
Yes.
It's the most entertaining version.
It's like 4-drink Amy on Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Just me? Okay.
Absolutely.
You with me?
I
Okay,
love
there we
Brooklyn
go.
I'm with you.
Nine-Nine.
Yep.
Nine-Nine.
Get it.
Title of your sex tape. Okay. So get your Netflix ready or your CBS All Access, or dust off that old VHS tape from what
But
was that? It was
pull
like
out the Betamax.
right. It was like a buy like
Laser
once a month
disc.
you would get a new disc in the mail. What's
Netflix.
that? It was a service.
Columbia Record Club.
Columbia
No.
House.
Oh gosh, it's
For
gonna drive me
VHS
crazy.
tapes?
Yeah. You
Dude,
could
It
also
was
do it for like collectible plates and things.
Blockbuster
but-
Video.
Oh, a mail order something?
Okay, I'm gonna look this up at some
Franklin
point during the
Mint.
episode.
All
and
right.
I will. So get your Star Trek ready. Season 2, episode 12, the Royale, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Countdown
Yeah.
from 5 this time.
Well, I
Just changing it up.
wanted to give them time.
I
Yeah.
appreciated it.
We're in orbit
Yeah,
around
no,
a
I
very
think that's
green
great.
planet.
It's quite green.
It's very green. Well, it has a lot of liquid neon and ammonia.
In the atmosphere.
Was that a spoiler alert? I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. I'm stealing Jordy's thunder.
It's not a Class M.
Nasty.
Methane. Liquid. You were right. Liquid neon. Look at you bringing in the science.
That's
312
fast.
meters per second. I
those-
love that.
For those who don't know metric, that's hella fast.
I say I love that they use metric because at that
Everyone
point, God, we
uses
should be
metric.
using it now.
Yeah, it's like 150 miles an hour.
Yep.
That's
They don't
whipping
use miles
fast.
per hour or cheeseburgers per freedom. They use meters.
And Royales.
All of my cheeseburgers per freedom.
There we go. This is something that does not age well, kids. Do you know
Yes.
why?
Please tell us.
Because Fermat's or Fermat, his last theorem, for 300 years, truly, people could not solve it. It was solved in the mid-90s. So here they talk about how in the 24th century, there's still no solution. There was, in fact, a solution. I think, was it 95, 96?
That sounds right.
I looked that up. It is 95, 6 years after this episode was written.
Yeah, they figured it out. I mean,
Andrew
I can't.
Wiles.
I mean, I can't explain to you what the proof is, but the proof involved a kind of a math that Fermat did not have back then. So you kind of wonder when he scrawled that little thing in the margin saying, "Oh, I don't have enough room in the notebook to write this all out," but it's really, the answer is amazing. Like, was he making that up to mess with people? Because the maths that you need to solve it didn't exist back then.
Well, could he have kind of been imagining or inventing that version of math?
O'Brien!
I don't know
It's
enough about
possible.
math.
Oh, Brian.
I don't understand the kids with their new math. They're
Yeah.
like, I don't understand it. So,
I've decided my new game is that I will shout O'Brien alert every time O'Brien's on the screen.
I
Because
like
he is
this.
one of my favorite characters.
Can we
I might
make
say
a
chief.
sort of
I might say it'll be like a new drinking game.
like a modified drinking game? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
If you're
drinking
watching at
games.
home, whenever O'Brien's in a scene, I will say O'Brien alert, and you take a shot.
Yep.
yeah.
That works.
What is this
So-
NASA thing they keep talking about?
Where are the extra
This is something else that
stars?
didn't age well. The NASA logo, they call that the worm logo, was what NASA was using in the 80s. They no longer use that logo.
Yeah.
But maybe they go back to it.
Maybe
you know?
in
I think because now it's
2036.
Right.
Is that what they say
I think that's
later
right.
on?
sure.
So while we're doing the credits, a little more research I did. This episode first aired in March 27th, 1989. Was written by Tracy Torme under the pen name Keith Mills. A little more on that in a second. Directed by Cliff Bowl. Tracy Torme first pitched this story in the first season, but it was a very different script. It was really surreal. There was a lot of comedy and satire. But season 2 showrunner Morris Hurley changed it so much that Mr. Torme asked for his name to be changed to Keith Mills because he didn't want to associate himself with the script. It was really no longer
Ooh.
his script.
Wow.
Yeah,
And
isn't
that-
that crazy?
Is the Earl Grey tea on that?
Yeah.
You just spill in that Earl Grey.
Well, in the original version of the script, I'm not spoilers, whatever. It's 1989. So when the cast beams down, they
Engage.
find a survivor from the NASA trip who's been kept alive. And in
Oh.
the script that we see, in the episode we see, they only find his corpse.
Mm.
So it really did change.
It did
Mhm.
change quite a bit. Mid 21st century.
Yeah, mid 21st century.
Yeah, I think the
No.
more specific year they figure out later when they narrow down exactly which ship it is.
Mm. Did they have they
Texas.
already mentioned the 52 stars on the flag?
I don't
know.
think so.
I don't think so. Okay. They showed the flag.
They showed the flag, but I was trying to count, but I was like, oh, I think there's more than. I almost said something because I was like, I think there's more than there actually are currently.
It's interesting that Tracy Torme was listed as a creative consultant.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
So he didn't want to be credited as the writer because he didn't like what they did to the script, but he was like, but you got to give me some credit for working on it. Like, I don't want to be totally hidden by a pseudonym. A nom de plume. That's a lot of men.
O'Brien time.
Take a shot. Take a shot.
Written by Keith Mills, not
Keith Mills.
Keith, not Mills.
If I were to pick a fake name, I don't think I would have gone with Keith.
I would have gone with Cliff.
Cliff, yeah.
I'd like to be Cliff.
I would name myself Cliff Bars.
That's a great, I mean,
that's great.
It's a delicious name.
Or Cliffhangers.
This episode was also made on the cheap. They had some budget issues, I was reading.
I was going to say.
This, like, they beamed down into a dark soundstage.
Yeah.
This
is the Black Box Theater episode.
It is the Shadow Box episode, if I've ever seen one.
With a freestanding, rotating door.
Mm-hmm. It works.
Just a couple L brackets on the back of that thing. There it is.
It's an experimental production in a local university.
Yeah. It's a musical version of Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's
oh no.
No one would do that. That sounds terrible.
No one would. Why would anyone do that?
That's funny. I've done a couple shows with revolving doors.
A kilometer overhead.
You know what they should do is use like a bunch of aharmonic tones to tell the story.
To represent that storm.
Look, that shot showed the sky dome at the top of the deck.
Yeah, they don't show that very often.
You don't see that. You don't see the dome often.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a way to shoot this with only using Patrick Stewart. Like, there's no extras in the background.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about those guys hanging out in the back.
Oh, now we're inside.
No, I appreciate that Data had to hesitate before walking into the doors as he was like contemplating how it works.
He's brilliant, but
that's just Brent Spiner being a brilliant
is so
actor.
good in this episode. This whole episode is a celebration of his phenomenal ability.
His genius.
Yeah. I love watching the actors. Like, the actors, everyone is having so much fun in this episode. Maybe not Patrick Stewart. I mean, he's got the shitty part of the episode. But for Jonathan Frakes, for Michael Dorn, and for Brent Spiner, what they're doing is just so ridiculous and over the top and fun.
Yeah.
They're in this like extra dimensional space. I love it.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Anytime when they get to leave the ship and enter a familiar and fully like developed, it's not just like a planet with rocks, a whole other world, especially something familiar like a
was this
21st century casino.
What was this set? Was it like already existing at the studio or something? Like this hotel?
I was reading that they threw it together. They basically pulled some stuff out of stock and threw up some curtains and walls and shot it very creatively so it looks like a complete room, but it is not.
Oh,
they did a good job.
Fascinating.
It looks like a hotel casino lobby. Like,
yeah, I that's what I was expecting. I was expecting to look like, oh well, they filmed this on location at blah 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 hotel and casino in Reno
like
or
just outside of LA or something.
Right.
Now they paid for a good number of extras on this one, though.
That's true.
Although very few of them speak, so you don't have to pay them much.
Not much. Not great customer service.
No.
This guy looks familiar. I should have looked him up on IMDb. I feel like he's one of those 80s TV actors that was like also on Night Court and, Murder,
Yeah.
She Wrote. And, like he pops up all over the place.
Oh, he's just done a million different things. Oh my God, the canned music coming in, the sultry saxophone.
Yeah.
The thing is, are they hearing that? Are they like, it seems so fake and out of place. Like, I want them to acknowledge it. I want like
It would
Worf
be
to look up
so
and be
great.
like,
Be like,
what's that music?
This is basically just a Dixon Hill episode without Dixon Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of,
They
but
use the same music.
it's funny that they make a big deal about it being, a poorly written novel, not to give anything away, and that it's cheesy, but you're right. It sounds just like Dixon Hill, which Captain Picard loves. So
I think we're supposed to enjoy Dixon Hill because it is that sort of noir feel, and but it's a mystery, and presumably it's a well-written mystery, whereas this is a cheesy mobster book.
that makes sense. One of the criticisms of this episode is that it has a lot in common with the original series episode Piece of the Action, where they find a planet that Earth vessel has crashed on, and they had a book about the Chicago mobs of the 20s, and the people on this planet have emulated that and based their whole culture around Chicago mobs of the 20s. I don't think this has that much in common with it, but that is the criticism.
I can see the inspiration of it, though, that a race of creatures that knows nothing about humanity bases everything they know about us on a smutty book that they found.
Yeah.
That is almost, I mean, subject matter is different, but it's almost the same plot as Galaxy Quest, which is, of course, a Star Trek spoof.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
Like
right.
they see the episodes
amazing.
of Galaxy Quest and they make I love that movie. And they
good.
like turn their society around because
They
they're
base all their technology on the
on
technology
Star Trek.
from the film,
Yeah.
from the TV show.
Galaxy Quest, not
I
Star
love
Trek.
that movie.
Right.
Copyright safe edition.
Oh God, this guy.
Oh, this like big like Texas guy.
We all know
Perfect.
that guy. We all know him.
Right. He's on your board, I think.
I was going to say, like, they're all like rich patrons that come to your theater.
Right. He got his money from oil, probably.
That piece of like turquoise around his neck. It's like the size of an apple.
Riker
He
just looks
stumbled in.
so bemused. He's like,
Yeah.
he's
He
like
does.
so like, this is amazing. I don't even
Yeah.
want to leave. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, what is going on?
Yeah.
I
They've
love it.
stumbled onto the set of Dallas, and they just don't know.
Yeah. Hundreds, you say?
I do think this episode lacks in a subplot. Like, I want a secondary plot that's happening.
Yeah, there really is no B plot.
Isn't there something for Pulaski to do? I mean, my
Right?
God.
Come on.
Then there's got to be someone
Is
with
she even
space
in this
herpes.
episode?
She had a title credit.
Oh, well, okay. She's going to show up. I just don't remember her. So clearly, it's not very memorable.
Procedure. He says it so well.
He says
says
everything well. He's perfect in every way.
Yeah.
I've been listening to his daily, Patrick
Sonnets?
Stewart's daily sonnets on
Oh, yeah.
Instagram.
During quarantine, they just hit 150. Can you believe he's done all of them?
It's crazy.
Well, he will do all of it. There's 190, I want to say. I forget.
Is that right? That sounds about right. I don't really enjoy gambling. It stresses me out.
No.
But blackjack is really stressful. There's no way I would play blackjack.
Craps is my favorite game. I learned how to play craps at my buddy's bachelor party, and I was like, it's awesome. Because it's like 8 different games going on all at once. Like, you got to keep track of so many stuff, so many different things. And then
I would not be able to do that.
He just like looked it up in his memory bank.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, the actual concept behind blackjack is really straightforward, but
Yes.
when you're playing at a table, there's all these other rules and etiquette things because you don't want to mess up the rest of the table, and that's where
Yes.
I get completely overwhelmed and lost. Like if I were just playing 21 with a dealer,
sure.
I feel like I could handle that, but with a
Yeah.
table full of people, I don't understand the rules.
Right. There's like a hierarchy based on your seat placement. I don't really understand it
Yeah.
either.
I went to a casino once in my life. I signed up for a mailing list and they gave me $10 in free credits on a little card.
Yeah. of
I
course.
used that for about an hour and a half just playing different
wow.
games, winning, losing on like the little
Good for
slot,
you.
like the video games.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand anything I was doing. I just put the card in, pressed a button, and then it said something and it gave me the card back. So I didn't actually have any fun. And then in the end, when that card ran out, I said, I'm going to go to the buffet now. And then I did.
And then you did. Yeah, I've the same. I've spent quite a bit of time in casinos just because I've just ended up there a lot and worked in Vegas and stuff. And they I don't understand slot machines, so I choose them based on what they're themed after. Like if they're themed after, like a TV show that I like, because then you get to then it's just fun. It's like bells and whistles and videos and
yeah.
But yeah. That's so funny. It can be fun.
I'll watch your chips for you.
Tim will play table games sometimes.
I do not have the confidence to do that. I also don't I just derive no pleasure from it. So I don't want to spend my money on it. I'd rather spend my money on food and drink.
Yeah.
I've had a couple really fun nights gambling, but I've also not enjoyed it at all. It's very hit and miss.
Yeah.
Depends on the people you're with, I think. And it depends on gambling by yourself, I hate it. I don't like going down to the casino at night when everyone else, if everyone else is taking a nap or whatever, and it's just I got an hour to kill before a show or whatever. I'll go play a couple of hands.
Throw some money down the toilet.
It's not really fun at all. Roulette and craps are the two games that I really enjoy. Those are fun. Is penetration possible? Title of your sex tape. Boom.
Oh, boom.
Are we doing that? Is that a thing now? Because
it's a
title
thing.
of your sex tape. That's a thing. That's a thing.
We could do that with Star Trek stuff.
That's happening.
We could do that with Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
Title of your sex tape.
Around and around. Here we go.
They try to leave and they just no, you don't know how the door works. You're supposed to
what a cheap and easy way to make that effect happen. Because
they didn't even cut it so that he came out immediately.
I thought of the same thing.
He has the time to walk all the way around.
They're like,
every time he
just
does
go
that,
around it once or twice.
I think they're going to bump into each other as they come off.
Oh, right.
You can't.
Let's find another way out.
No.
You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave.
This is actually the Hotel California.
Right.
Welcome to the Hotel Star Trek Royale.
By the time I started going to Vegas or went to Vegas the first time, they weren't using coins anymore. That had just changed over.
When you're that lady, you might like to sit at a slot machine all day.
Right.
One-arm bandit.
These I also thought that going to a Vegas casino would be like a James Bond movie. I thought people would be in tuxedos and evening gowns. No, they're in
pajama
suits and they come down from the room half naked. They're sad. They're in their Best Buy whatever work uniform, gambling away their paycheck. It is not necessarily a fun place.
Permission to shoot at the wall, sir. Nothing.
Yeah. I've never done Vegas.
Oh, look, he's got the weird phaser. He's got not the right one still.
Oh, he's got the air
still the old
conditioner
phasers.
remote control.
The Dustbuster. The
Yes.
This one.
they
Aw.
can't get out. They're trapped. Bum bum bum.
Oh no. They're trapped in Vegas. Isn't that what everyone thinks though? Once they're in a casino in Vegas, like you can't find your
Right.
way
They
out.
don't want you to leave. They don't
They
want you
make
to
it a
find a way
maze.
out.
It's hard to leave.
I have never been to Vegas. My one casino
fun.
experience was Mohegan Sun.
Oh, I've been there several times. Tim's mom loves that place.
Nice.
When we lived in Colorado, we went to Black Hawk.
Say what now?
Exactly.
You got to be really careful how you say that one. Black.
Right. I love
Hawk.
Black Hawk.
Oh, I just can't get enough of going to Black Hawk.
You know, Black Hawk on the weekends.
That way goes the game.
Oh, he's
Oh,
got a
plot. There's
gun.
more. There's
There's a
I
gun.
still don't understand what year it is.
Oh, that's a good question. It feels like the 80s, doesn't it? But then the 40s at the same time.
It's the 40s and the 80s, and well, you saw
Because
that
it's
one
a
one
poorly
dealer
written book.
that extra the blackjack
Yeah.
dealer had like 1980s bridged
Right.
glasses, like
Well, and Foghorn Leghorn over there drives a 91 Camry or something.
yeah, like
So
that was like all right. So
Yeah, so
maybe
maybe
it's
it's like
supposed to be
modern
contemporary.
day. I don't know.
I mean, everything in Vegas is a little different. Maybe that's the way they talk.
Oh, there was a computer screen. Sorry,
There you go.
I didn't mean to talk over you.
No. That's fine. So this is and the clothes that he's wearing do not look like 1940s or 1920s or anything like that. I mean, that's
No.
a modern suit, and there's
Nobody
sequins,
sees the
like,
manager.
So is it set in 2130 something, or is it set in like 1995?
I don't know. I mean, the book.
That's my question.
The book
That's an
probably is
interesting
set.
question.
Yeah.
Because if Texas is driving a 91 whatever,
Yeah.
is he indicating that that's like just a
The
normal
newest
car
thing.
that's outside, or the newest thing, or
Right.
is it a classic?
Oh, right.
And
Is it old?
this is actually a little further in the future, and he's saying like, oh, like saying I drive a 60 something Chevy or something
Yeah,
like that, like a
right.
classic car.
You know, it's funny. I feel like there's something cool about driving a 1958 Chevy or something,
Mhm.
but I can't imagine a world where like, oh yeah, I have a 1985 Tercel. Like that's never going to be cool. You know what I mean? Like,
There are some cars that do not age well. Like if
My-
you have a Chevy Nova, it's never going to be cool.
it literally means no go. I'm just saying. That's why it didn't sell well in
Yeah.
Spanish-speaking countries.
Yeah. I drove a 1986 rust-colored Cutlass Sierra.
Oh, I had a
That
Cutlass
will-
Sierra.
That's never going to be like
No.
on a classic car lot, and that's
No.
okay.
Here we are on the Seinfeld set.
Seriously. What's with the lattice work?
They went all in on the lattice work. They thought it would add texture.
I'm really in the weeds with this
I know.
lattice.
It's awful.
So in the weeds with David Pumpkins.
It's very
Oy.
muted colors. It's very beige.
The halogen lamp? What's going on? This is
Oh,
it's
they're
even
about
got the
to- so-
bad hotel art. I love it.
They just
This
went
is
to
like-
the Crew Hotel and started
Yeah,
filming.
it's like a Best Western.
Yeah.
Best
It's
Western.
on location.
No hotel has the white carpet.
That's true.
Did. So yeah, in the original version of the script, that's a living character.
Just sleeping, just
And
hanging
the
out.
reason
in this room.
the reason the whole illusion is still running is that they're doing it for him. It's kind of like an episode of the original series, The Cage or The Menagerie.
Oh.
And then they so now I don't know why this illusion is still running. The guy's
I love
dead.
that Worf just figured out how closets work. Were you guys
Worf-
watching that in the
Yes.
background?
Worf discovers bifold doors and a coat closet.
Oh, it's his NASA suit. Oh, here we go. American. 52 stars. $2,033.
We're not
between
too far off
2033
from that
and
if it happens.
2079.
What happened in 2079? Did we get more stars or did we?
Or did we collapse?
Yeah. Was
At
that
the
it?
end? So here's a question. What are the other two states?
DC and Puerto Rico.
DC and Puerto Rico, yeah.
Which, if the Democrats, take the election and Congress, then it's
We
quite
need to
possible
make
it could
happen.
happen this next 4 years.
Yeah.
God.
It'd be 4 more senators that would
Yes.
probably be liberal.
When I lived during the 2000 it was Bush's second term. What was that? 2002?
2004 to 2008. Yeah.
I was living in DC during that election, and I was really in a bubble. I was doing an internship, and I was just working really long hours, so I wasn't really keeping up with the news or anything. But I was shocked that John Kerry didn't win because everyone in DC was voting for John Kerry. But
I think everyone was surprised.
They don't have representation. They don't have senators or anything. It's not a real state.
Yeah.
If only.
Yeah.
Did I vote? I voted in the 2000 election. No.
2004?
I voted in 2004.
You were
That was
but
the
a
first
wee
one.
thing.
I wasn't quite old enough to vote in the 2000 election. Missed it by a year. I was 17 in 2000.
They found the novel, and all the pieces are falling.
Wait,
into place.
isn't it 17 to vote? Then I was 16.
No,
Is
it's
it-
18.
no,
It's
to
18,
vote.
right? Then I was 17.
18.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
Do you remember what year you were born, right?
1980. Yeah.
Okay. Then,
Sorry,
then it's just,
you broke up there for a second.
okay. Okay. It's the music is really loud in here.
I'm listening to the episode. What are you talking about?
Really concentrate, guys. You have to concentrate. It's a complicated storyline.
Guys, it's so hard to be in our. It's so hard to be
complicated.
young and cool in our 20s. It's so hard. I get it.
God.
I get it.
Yeah.
Wait, are there 2 copies of the book? Oh no, that's the
journal.
The journal. Sorry,
Mhm.
I should be paying attention. The lampshade on that lamp is far too small for the lamp base. I'm just saying.
It's so dim in that room. Hotels have overhead lights.
Not
Well,
when
yeah, but
there
they
are
all
only
have
two
complicated light
sides.
switches. Like you never
True.
know which light switch to turn on.
That's very
Or
true.
where the
and
light
that's
switch
very
is.
annoying.
It is. Or when you're trying to go to bed and there's one light still on, you're like, how do I turn off this light?
Yes.
Done all the switches.
Yep. Yep. You start to question your sanity.
Right.
Dear diary, another day in the casino. Still suck at blackjack. Don't
And also-
know where I am or
Still-
how to get home.
So now they just have to play it out, right? They just got to
Right.
They just got to play it out, see what happens. Finish
Yeah.
the story so it can reset.
Hmm.
This badly written book.
Because he just never
How
came
sad.
down. That's why that guy's always asking if Rita called every day. It's like Groundhog Day down there.
It's just, oh my God, it would be, right? Or has
Yeah.
it not been doing anything since the guy died and it just restarted? when
They've just been
people showed up?
on the standby mode,
Maybe.
They're hanging out,
mean,
they're on their phones.
if-
They're on a
If
break.
we assume that we're, oh, there's Pulaski
Oh, there's
Told you.
earning that paycheck.
Yeah.
She doesn't even get a front shot.
Oh,
She
she
does-
says something.
No, because then she says something about them.
There
Yep.
she is.
Yep. They're talking about shooting them into space.
What if we just blow the fuck out of it?
They're just
We could probably catch the pieces, right?
What if we
put it back together? It'll be fine.
cut through what's protecting you and you get jettisoned out into space and we promise to catch you really fast and then feed you
Right.
soup to warm you
Well,
back up.
We'll deploy a
Guys.
large net.
This is literally a call to adventure right now. This
I
is
love that
literally a call to adventure.
Him discovering how closet doors work and then discovering how telephones work is adorable.
Just being like,
There's a female voice. And they don't know what room service is.
They're just trying to like kickstart the plot. That guy gets a call.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, it's like in the original script, apparently there was a lot of comedy, and this is all that's left of the comedy.
Oh,
And it's not funny. They're like, what? And then they just
Room
brush
service,
it
because
off.
that's just completely foreign to them at this point. Like they don't know.
Yep. Yep.
You could.
What about like on
context clues.
Ryza? Like Ryza's an entire resort planet. They don't have room service there.
Maybe they don't call
But
it
you have
that.
food replicators.
I guess you just have a replicator
that's
in your
true.
room. You just get whatever you want. I guess
That's true.
you've never had to walk more than 50 feet to get food.
But
Troy just walks
restaurants do
behind the desk
exist.
without even asking.
Restaurants. This is my personal space. Back up.
Right.
Like
He's like, whoa,
Whoa,
counselor.
whoa,
Other side of
whoa.
the desk, please.
Yeah. Personal space.
this is my no pants zone. Okay.
Oh god. Patrick Stewart's facial expressions are amazing in those.
She's
It was
into
a
it.
dark and
Like,
stormy night.
But Troy, like she reads those trashy novels. She's like all about it. She's like,
Oh,
yeah.
totally.
And also, like Dixon Hill is not like literature gold.
Can't be.
Literary
No, but
gold.
he also reads the greats.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, he does read good stuff. It's just Dixon Hill is his guilty pleasure.
Troy reads Betazoid romance novels.
He's like, it's no John Grisham.
All right, she's wearing a denim dress. This is
Oh.
absolutely not in the past.
No. But is it in the future? That's my question.
Yeah.
Oh, we're about
Well,
to
if
find out
he's-
about the Camry or whatever it is. I think it's a Camry. Now we have to listen.
Yeah.
Lubbock, Texas.
I feel like
Texas.
I could see him driving a Cadillac. Caddy.
Oh, Caddy.
91
I totally
Caddy.
heard Camry. 91 Camry.
I just don't see this guy from Texas being like, I got a 91 Camry out front.
For
Hattie.
30 years, I've thought this dude drives a 91 Camry, which was like my grandmother's car.
It's a caddy.
With horns on the front. Like
Absolutely. It has horns on the front. Are
Like
you
that,
kidding me?
like Dukes of
it
Hazzard.
has horns.
And the foldaway
Yes.
headlights.
Yes. That flip.
That's the 91 Caddy, man. Like
Oh
that.
my God. 91
so
Caddy.
creepy.
91.
So freaking lecherous.
Oh my God.
Always hit under 14.
She's like, I'm a stupid woman. Again, poorly written characters.
Nope. Busted.
Bust.
They're just one-dimensional characters.
Yeah.
I think you're supposed to stay on anything higher than 14 or higher. I think is you're supposed to stay. Odds are if you hit.
But live dangerously. I don't know. This is why I don't.
She had
gamble.
13 though. She had 13, and that's sort of a tough call and that's why you like play statistics. Like you're okay, so you stand a decent chance of getting a card lower than a face card. And
Yeah, look at that,
not even a 9, like a non-face
Sorry.
card or a 10. Sorry, I'm talking game.
No, you're fine. I'm just obsessing about the year. I was like, there's like a
Oh.
Tandy computer monitor in the background.
And this guy
Wow.
from 1992.
Miami Vice.
Ba-ba-da-ba-bum, bum, bum.
What the hell?
This
His
is
white
definitely
suit with
like
his silver shirt and his like
supposed to
weird.
be-
What is that jacket? Like that coat?
No,
What material is it? What is it?
It looks
made
alien.
out of?
it's like the same stuff that the fish people were wearing almost.
Yes, Mick Fleetwood. That was the outfit Mick Fleetwood was wearing.
They've turned it into a coat.
They did. Oh God, they're listening to it.
Oh, Picard and Troy listening to the worst radio drama ever.
The looks on their faces.
They should have snacks. They should be like there should be a bowl of popcorn, something like that. I've often wondered, it is okay. This is a weird transition, but he just said that people didn't really talk that way. I've often wondered in reading historic plays like Shakespeare, did people really talk that way? And of course they didn't. No one was going around talking in iambic pentameter. But even in the prose, is it just poetry? Were people not, you know what I mean? I don't know the answer.
I mean, people don't sing in unless you're a music theater kid and you
don't burst out into song.
But you know what I mean? So I think it's the convention of it. They speak in verse and they speak in, elevated language and stuff that's fun to listen to.
Which is the vocabulary.
For what it's worth, well, no, Shakespeare invented words. So that vocabulary was not common. But, I mean, Shakespeare wrote an iambic pentameter because it most closely resembled the rhythm in which people normally speak.
Oh, that's interesting.
I'm going to have to hire another bellboy. That's what the assistant manager's thinking.
It's like, crap.
Dead.
We're going to have to throw away that rug.
No woman's worth dying for.
Killing for sure.
Wait, his pants were too long. His pants were too long.
Tim would have a heyday
in my mouth.
He got to leave.
What the hell just happened?
Worf and Riker are like, what?
How
well, now there's a dead body. Oh, he left. He also walked in. They weren't shocked then, but then he walked out. And they're like, wait, he left, but he's not real. You shouldn't be that shocked.
Yeah.
His name is Mickey D. I'm killing him.
And
I'm killing him. Nice.
And he's responsible for the deaths of others, much like McDonald's is clogging people's arteries. Really, this whole thing is an allegory.
Right.
The Royale, Mickey D's.
Oh,
Think
my
about
God.
it, guys. Think about it.
This is all about the fast food industry.
This is the origin story of McDonald's, is what it is.
This is where it all begins.
So here they get the idea. They're like, so what happens in the end of the novel? Foreign investors buy out the place.
Give me the Cliff Notes.
Right.
Yep.
And are you just randomly assigned a role in this novel? Like, should you accidentally walk in? Like, what if they weren't three of them? Would that have changed the story?
I don't think they have been assigned that role. I think that. Well, that's a good
astronaut
question.
Was the astronaut one of the foreign investors too, and he just died? And
are the foreign investors going to show up if they stay eventually? No, because the astronaut died.
Yeah, I don't think the story wouldn't conclude
just sort of
itself.
stalled
It
out.
would just
No
play
one was
on the loop.
No one was playing the game. No one was moving the story forward. So I think that they just stayed like that for 200
Groundhog
years.
Day.
Yes, craps.
Do it.
Oh, snake eyes.
Snake eyes. Even I know that's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah.
But if you roll snake eyes on your first roll, then that's the point.
You get
the point
a do-over?
is 2.
Oh, really? So,
No, you can't
other people around the
point
table
can't be 2. It's just that's automatically fail.
Are other people around the table betting on what you do with the dice?
Yes. So craps is a very interesting game. So a new shooter starts the round over, right? The point isn't set. The point can be any combination of those 2 dice, whatever number that you happen to roll first. However, if you roll a 7 or an 11 before you set the point, before you say what it is, they say yo 11 yo because 7 and 11 in a street game sound very similar. So they say yo 11 yo to delineate it between 7. So he just rolled a 6. So now he rolled a 6. So now every time you roll a 6, everybody wins.
Oh.
And then but now because the point's set, 7 is out. Then you don't want to roll that again. You don't.
Or 11.
If you did 11?
Then 7 and 11 are bad. Then you don't want.
That.
After you set the point.
That is way too confusing for me.
If you get the dice, and you roll a 7 and you just keep rolling 7s and 11s, everybody wins. Time and a half, whatever you put down, and it's 50%. So if you're on a hot streak before you even set the point, because it can't be 7 and it can't be 11, and I don't think it can be 2, but maybe it can.
Oh, I see. So you could just not.
So it's just like free rounds. Just keep rolling those dice. If you keep rolling the 7s, and then eventually people start betting
like Data
against you.
does.
Yeah, then you can say that you can bet against the roller. You can say no, he's gonna crap out. He's gonna set the point.
Suddenly Data's cool the way he like throws the dice.
Yeah.
He blows on them. Like, how did he know to do that?
He just downloaded it. You're not allowed to do
downloaded
that. Well,
it.
certainly now you're not allowed to do that at a casino, but you're not allowed to take you're not allowed to take the dice off the table edge. Like you can't.
Oh, and put them to your mouth and
they
blow
don't
on
leave
them.
the table, so you can like sort of like fake it and bend over, but like nowadays in the
You
COVID
can't like
days,
have someone next to you be like blowing the dice for good luck.
you can't take them off the table
If you can't pull, because they did that in James Bond movies too.
You have to keep you have to keep your hands over the table. Like you can't to prevent cheating. Like that you might change
you
the
can
dice.
change out the dice.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that makes me nervous in casinos because I don't know those rules, so I would accidentally mess up.
They
get
all
in
tell
trouble.
you. I mean, they tell you.
Yeah, they tell you.
A craps table takes 3 dealers to run. Like so you'll see there's like multiple people around the table. Craps is a fascinating game. So then you can bet on like what they're going to roll. You can bet on the point. You can also say like, I'm going to say how they're going to roll it. Like, so you can say 8, if 8's the point, you can say 8 the hard way, which means they're going to roll 2 4s. So then you get extra money if they roll 2 4s.
Jesus.
It's crazy.
Oh, God.
There's like 4 or 5. That's why all those little boxes are all different things.
Oh, he's
Like,
got some spreading around money.
Yeah.
So you can bet on the, like, there's different fields you can bet on. You can play the field. Literally, that's a term. And so you can like bet on other numbers to come up. Like you can say all these hard numbers are going to show up. And then you win a little bit of money anytime they show up, but they don't set the point. You don't crap out. If you roll something that's not the point, but it's not a 7 or an 11, then you just keep rolling until you hit something. But until you crap out, which is when you roll a 7 or 11.
Well, Foghorn Leghorn there just bet against him. Oh yeah, he asked her to blow
Totally
the dice.
illegal.
That wouldn't
You can't do
that.
that.
Wouldn't be allowed.
Illegal.
Also, squeezing the dice so hard with your animatronic hands that you crush them a little.
And it's not required, I don't think. I think it's etiquette, but they have to hit the back wall. Like you can't just roll them on the table. You need to bounce them.
You have to throw them hard.
Yeah, you get like a couple practice rolls. Like usually they'll let you like try. They're like, no, do it again. That was terrible. Like that didn't count.
Wow.
Because I don't think it counts unless it hits the back wall.
Gotcha.
Wow. You've
broken the bank.
And we're the foreign investors. Dun, dun.
Dun.
He literally shows them the novel. Shouldn't that blow the guy's mind? Shouldn't the guy be
no,
like,
but
what
he
is that?
I'm in a book.
Clearly knows.
Yeah, he knows. Like, is he an alien? Is he like the one person that's not fake?
Maybe he's the intelligence. If it's not, I mean, we don't know if it's an actual alien being at this point or if it's just an intelligence that the alien being set up to protect that straggler.
Right, like an AI of some sort.
Yeah. They made it up.
Oh,
they're back in the black box.
They're back in the black box theater.
They're in the black box theater disappointing their parents.
Right. We left all of the chips inside the casino. Sorry.
Did you like the show? Thanks so
All of
much
the money.
for coming. I'm really glad you made it. Wow, you were up on that stage. You were
up on that stage.
You
I
were
definitely
my
paid
favorite part
$60,000 a year for you to stand on that wooden box and be dressed in a unitard.
Do an interpretive dance to.
Yep.
They don't really. I was going to say they're wrapping it up, but they don't really wrap it up. They don't know who created the fake world. There's not.
No.
Like I wanted the aliens to pop up.
None of it makes any sense.
That's sort of the tagline for this episode.
None
of this really makes sense.
Right. Life's a gamble.
And
but it's so fun. I had a great time.
It's like much like the blah 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 theorem. This may never be proven.
And that's all.
But it was.
Okay. And tag. Okay.
There you go.
That's it.
And tag.
But you know what?
The
We learned a
end.
lot. We learned quite a bit about craps and gambling.
We did.
We learned
Ben
about-
taught us all
We
about
really
craps.
I mean,
have to go
and
take a
that's
crap.
Aaron taught
That's
us
what I
about
gotta do.
math,
I did. Well, I didn't like teach you about the math, though.
the history of the math.
I guess. I
All
mean,
of the maths.
all of the maths,
The maths.
the Fermats, the
So
last theorem.
I
the
like
first
it.
Theorem.
yeah, that's my question: is does this episode hold up? Do you like it?
It's one of the ones that I remember explicitly. Like I growing
me
up as a
too.
kid, like it is one that stuck with me for a long time, and I always enjoyed it
Yeah.
because it was a mystery. I was like, what the hell is this? What is going on?
Mhm.
It was, turns out it was a novel.
Aliens.
Aliens. I'm not saying it was aliens. But it was aliens. Yeah. So I like this episode. This is one of my favorite. Like I said, it starts picking up in season 2. Like
It does.
there's some
Mhm.
good ones in season 2. And this is,
Right.
in my mind, it's one of them. I like this one.
I loved this episode as a kid. I also have strong memories of it, specifically about Data and the dice for some reason.
Right? Yeah. Like that's such
Um,
a thing.
But watching it today, I'm critical of it. I just am.
I
And
think
maybe it's because I know that the original script was better. Like
Yeah.
everyone says it was better. The actors loved it. I just wish that we had seen it.
Yeah.
So they
I
didn't
think-
shoot any of that script, right? Or was it all
No.
editing? Yeah. They
It was-
totally redid it.
They decided it was too similar to that original series episode, and the showrunner Morris Hurley rewrote it basically.
What
Yeah.
what might have been.
Yeah.
Mm.
Might have
I mean,
been
I
even
think-
better than
Yeah.
this one.
I think that in terms of the storyline, the story itself is so weak. It's so weak. But to watch the performances, to watch the actors have fun,
Yeah.
it's really enjoyable.
That's
I don't know that this is a top 10 of all time for me,
true. Oh,
but it's
no.
one of those episodes that, when you're flipping through the channels and it's on, you tend to watch, you're like, oh yeah, let me just wait until we get to the part where like Data's winning the craps game.
Right.
Like, it's fun. It's fun to watch Worf figure out how bifold doors work and what a closet is. It's fun to watch him answer the phone and go, there is a female voice asking if we would like room service. It's enjoyable. It's one of
Yeah,
those
that's true.
silly, and it's a little bit of a trope of like these people in the future not understanding the past, but it's
Right.
cute.
It's like Scotty picking up the mouse and talking into
Yeah,
it, like
co-
computer.
Computer.
Very good.
But
Hello?
it's
No,
fun.
you have to use the mouse. Oh.
Oh,
A keyboard. How quaint.
quaint.
So great. Yeah.
God.
It's just there's a couple of those classic moments in that one for me. And
Absolutely.
Mhm.
does the whole episode hold up against the rest of the canon of the series? No. It's okay.
It's not the worst.
It's more nostalgia for me at this point than
sure.
it is like this is a good episode of Star Trek. And it's an okay episode of Star Trek.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
fun. It's a
A lot
fun
of fun.
episode.
It is still I still got a little bit of that watching it even for the second time today.
That's
Like,
awesome.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
That's
I still
awesome.
like this episode.
Yeah, if you just
Yeah.
it's just fun. If you just like,
Yeah,
I
agree.
go on the journey, go on the
Yeah.
ride.
Just, willing suspension of disbelief and just close your eyes and wake up in a magical space-filled world.
Liquid
Amazing.
neon and
Liquid
Ammonia
neon in the
tornadoes.
atmosphere.
We should all be so lucky as that astronaut,
I mean,
God.
really, of all the terrible things that could happen when you get lost in deep space,
Could have been
An
eaten by space
alien
monsters.
race. yeah, an
Yeah.
alien race
Yeah.
finds you and decides to try to give you a happy life the only
Right.
way they know how, which happens to be from a really, really crappy book. But you know what?
The only
That's
novel
your
he
fault.
brought. It's the
That's
only
your
novel
fault
he
for
had.
bringing that damn book with you. You could
They-
have brought a better book.
They didn't ask him what he wanted. They just went through his stuff and found a book and said, "This must be it."
But you're traveling to deep space. You have to expect that the things that you've packed will be judged by alien races. Everyone knows that.
That's true.
I don't know. This is the hill I'm dying on. Like,
And I
pack
respect that.
Shakespeare. Pack something.
Yeah, it makes me worry
Come
about
on.
what books I might have with me if I were in
Can
this
you-
situation.
Can you imagine if he had packed his Stephen King novel?
Right.
Like Misery, and he's
Like,
like,
he's actually like, he wakes up in its pet cemetery and
Oh,
he's
God.
like, don't bury the kid. Come on.
What if it was Shades of Grey?
Oh, and that would have been Tasha Yar.
50 Shades of Grey. Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey. 50 Shades of Grey.
That's the
yeah.
title of that book. Oh my God.
Worst
Um,
book you could like. What are the worst the
Yeah, I'm
really
trying to.
bad
And
books
that one's
you
kind
could
of
have? That
Twilight.
was sort of a
awful.
gimme.
The Twilight is kind of a
series.
gimme.
But again, like if you're a fan of those, maybe that's okay. Like,
No, but can you imagine, like, if he had a bunch of Anne Rice and it's like he wakes up and it's Interview with a Vampire and he just keeps getting bit?
Oh God, he has to like kill people or eat off rat
Eat
blood
rats.
the rest of his life.
yeah, I just don't understand. Like, so the things that still bug me about this episode are the like. So what was the aliens' end game? If that guy had figured out a way to buy the hotel and the casino, would it have just started over?
Then he would have walked out
Like-
and then been like, "Well, crap, what do I do now?" And he would have
Yeah.
walked right back in.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because they were basically setting it up. They knew this guy was like out on his own. I
Yeah.
presume. I guess I'm
Well,
sort of
Yeah,
assuming what
they
the
made
aliens think.
they made a pocket of his atmosphere.
Right.
Yeah, like
It's like a video game. If he beat it, if he got all the way to the end, then he could just start over.
yeah. Would he just? But again, like then
There's
we're
no
talking
bonus level.
There's like Groundhog Day scenario where he's just doing that over and over and over again.
So maybe he did beat it. Maybe he did know. He and then maybe he like pretended to be the foreign investors.
Maybe he did it so many times and then just like literally just died eventually. Like he just
Well,
did
yeah,
it.
just crawled into his bed and was like, and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
lay here.
He's like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna wait here till I die.
Of course, he would have had to have
Because-
been really good at a game to win that much money. But
Yeah.
But they could also like, I mean, they could materialize like food and stuff for him too.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Well, that's kind of
was he eating?
We never
Well,
saw the room service, so we don't know.
I kind of think that's why the room service was calling, because the humans went to the room and they thought, okay, they have physical needs, let's feed them. And then
Oh,
we're
see,
like
I
the
like-
kitchen is open for 24 hours. Like,
It's just like sort of like the caretaker sort
Yeah,
of
because-
concept.
yeah, because they made reference from reading the diary that he was
Mhm.
there for, what did they say, 30 something years?
Yeah, he had to be
Like
eating.
the dude died of old age.
Right.
So
I
they
mean,
took care
but
of him.
he was probably going slowly mad because he was caught in this loop.
Right. He must have worked his way through that whole room service menu
Agreed.
over and over.
Probably.
Yeah.
All that McDonald's food.
All they had was
Mickey
cheeseburgers.
D's.
Mickey D's.
Yeah.
Needs a fry
Yeah.
drop.
You couldn't at least get an apple pie or a chicken nuggets or something. McFlurry, a McRib.
Happy
What
meal.
if they always had McRibs?
What if
A
it
McRib
was?
and a Shamrock Shake.
I was gonna spit, but those are seasonal. If seasons don't happen, you may never get the Shamrock Shake.
Or what if it's always March or February or whatever in this novel?
What?
You always have the Shamrock Shake.
What is the?
Then
What
you
if it
would-
was?
then-
What if there was no like reference to food in the novel, and they were just
Oh.
like, they were just guessing? They
Then
were
he would
like, I
starve
don't
to
know,
death.
some-
Oh, yeah,
some
maybe.
rocks, maybe. Like, well, just try something. And then he had to like at some point they had to have figured out there must be talk about, but maybe there was one meal and he only had the same meal.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of unanswered questions. I mean,
I have nothing but questions now.
these aliens set this up and left, or were they monitoring? If they were monitoring, they're rude because they didn't like say hi to the Enterprise people. They, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It's
kind of got
weird.
the sense that they just found him and they set something up and they're like, "You'll be safe here until someone comes and finds you." And of
Yeah,
course, no
took
one
too
from
long.
Earth at that point was able to get that far out. No one knew
That
where
makes
they
sense.
were. Their telemetry system broke down.
Right.
Yeah, it's sort of just like a like a holodeck program that they just left on. I think,
Right.
you know, it's more like an automated thing than it
Mhm.
was like someone was actively like they weren't aliens, they were computer programs
Yeah.
that were interacting with him. I don't know.
Well,
I think it's done its job. It made us ask questions and think about it.
heck
So
yeah.
I think they did a good job.
Years later, we're still talking about this.
I know.
I mean, that's what we do. But
And that's kind of the point of the podcast.
is kind of the point of the podcast.
It's true. It's absolutely true.
That and to just have fun.
Boldly go.
Boldly go. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening, sticking with us to the end of the Royale. Check out our Patreon, where you can become part of our crew, and find us over on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Hailing Freak Open, or on our webpage, hailingfrequenciesopen.com. Shoot us a message. Let us know what you think. And yeah, I think till next time, Hailing Frequencies closed.
No goodbyes. Just good memories. Hailing frequencies closed, sir.